Have you ever done that thing where you look at your bank account, then you look at your online shopping cart, and you just kind of sigh and wonder, why can't I have everything? Well, guess what? Today we're going to crack that exact puzzle wide open.
I mean, it's the ultimate question, right? It doesn't matter if it's the newest smartphone, that dream vacation you've been eyeing, or heck, even just more time in the day. Why is there always a limit?
So here's the thing. It turns out that feeling isn't just your personal frustration. Nope, it's actually the one fundamental challenge that drives literally every single decision made by businesses, governments, even you and me. And today, we're going to get to the bottom of it.
Okay, so to really get to the heart of this problem, we've got to get a few key terms straight. Let's call this our little pre-flight briefing, before we take these ideas up to 30,000 feet.
All right, first up, needs versus wants. This is super simple but absolutely crucial. Needs, well, they're the non-negotiables. Food, water, shelter, clothing. The stuff you literally need to survive. Wants, that's everything else. Think of it like this. You need water to live, but you want a fancy latte. You need a roof over your head, but you might want a mansion with a pool. See the difference? One is survival, the other is all about desire. And this is where it gets really interesting. Our wants, they're pretty much unlimited, aren't they? There's always something new we could want. But the resources we have to get those things, money, raw materials, even our own time, they are very, very limited. And that massive gap, that fundamental tension between our endless desires and the finite stuff we have to get them, well, that has a name. It's called scarcity.
Okay, so that's the theory. But how does this whole problem of scarcity actually play out in the real world? Well, let's take our idea to 30,000 feet and look at how it shapes pretty much every single decision for a major airline.
You see, an airline can't just do whatever it wants. Not even close. They're battling scarcity every single day. Think about it. The cabin on a plane, that's a fixed amount of space. Their fuel budget, it's not a bottomless pit. They have a set number of crew members. And this one's huge. There are only so many landing and takeoff slots at busy airports. All of these things are classic limited resources.
So, because of that limited cabin space, the airline is forced to make a choice. And it's a really big one. What do you do with that space? Do you cram in, say, 300 economy seats to get as many people on board as possible? Or do you go the other way and install 150 super luxurious lie-flat suites and charge an absolute fortune for them? The key thing is they can't do both. Scarcity forces them to choose a path, to pick a strategy.
Now, some companies don't just deal with scarcity, they become masters of it. And there's no better example than Ryanair. These guys built an entire empire by basically turning this core economic problem into their superpower.
Their model is just ruthlessly efficient. Step 1, they laser focus on the absolute bare-bones need, just getting you from point A to point B safely. That's it. Step 2, they strip away every single want. No free snacks, no seatback screens, none of that. Step 3, they turn all those wants into things you have to pay extra for. And finally, step 4, by doing all that, they can maximize their number one scarce resource, that cabin space, by packing in the absolute maximum number of seats. It's a famous strategy, right? Price over comfort. That is the trade-off they make on every single flight.
And you might be asking, does this strategy actually work? Oh yeah, it works incredibly well. On average, Ryanair flies its planes with a whopping 95% of the seats filled. 95%. By focusing only on the need and making you pay for the wants, they make sure that their most precious, scarce resource, those seats, almost never go to waste. It's a total masterclass in the economics of scarcity, even if, it's not going to win any awards for legroom.
Okay, so now it's your turn to play the game. I am officially putting you in the CEO's chair. Let's do a little in-flight thought experiment. All right, picture this. You are the CEO of a brand new, low-cost airline. Money is super tight. Your resources are about as scarce as they get. You've got the planes, you've got your crew, but your investors are breathing down your neck watching every single penny. Now, you've scraped together just enough cash for one major initiative to attract customers. Just one. That's all you get. So what's it going to be? What's your big choice? Do you invest that money in a want, putting Wi-Fi on all your planes to make the flight a little nicer? Or do you focus on that core need for cheap travel and use the exact same money to slash all your ticket prices by 15%? Remember, you can't do both. And here's the thing, there isn't one single right answer. But now you understand the question. Every single choice we make, whether you're a CEO of an airline or just trying to decide what to buy at the grocery store, it all comes down to navigating that fundamental tension between what we want and what we actually have. That is the economic problem.